We begin with the breaking news, the alert for American travelers just moments ago, and it comes just as millions now prepare to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. The State Department issuing a worldwide travel alert due to increased terrorist threats. Of course, American cities on heightened alert already, and tonight a major new discovery overseas we're following. Dramatic stills of the drills right here in New York City. Police and SWAT teams practicing the event of a suicide bombing or an attack on the subway. And as I mentioned, it comes as investigators now say a suicide belt has been discovered in Paris. They now want to know if it belonged to the alleged 8th attacker on the run. ABC's Jonathan Karl is standing by at the White House, but first ABC's Cecilia Vega on the steps being taken right now to keep Americans safe.
Tonight, amid that new alert, the State Department warning U.S. citizens to possible risks of travel due to increased terrorist threats. Hundreds of officers, their guns drawn, shots fired. A terror attack on a New York subway. This time, it was only a drill, but they are preparing for the worst.
We are, and we continue to be, and we have been concerned about copycat-like attacks.
ICE is promising attacks in this propaganda video showing images of New York's iconic Times Square and the city showing its muscle. Tonight, cameras on every corner, heavily armed police too, a new counterterrorism unit, 1,000 more officers.
It could happen here, it could happen anywhere. But here in New York City, the New York City Police Department is the most well-trained, most qualified department in the country, if not the world.
It's not just New York. From drills in Los Angeles
respond code 3 to training exercise
to the NFL, increasing security at every stadium around the country. And at the height of holiday travel, from train stations to airports, stepped up police presence. Jitters flying high. This Southwest Airlines flight diverted to Kansas City Sunday because officials say 3 passengers didn't follow crew instruction. One of several similar incidents this past week. In each case, the passengers were cleared and put on other flights.
And Cecilia Vega with us now live here in New York City. Cecilia, the State Department not listing specific locations, but here in New York, they've already taken added measures.
That's right, David. That alert is global, but I can tell you we've been out here in Times Square all evening, and that alert feels especially high tonight. Today, authorities in New York unveiling a new app where people can send to them on their cell phone photos of suspicious activity that they see. David, the new mantra, if you see something, send something.
Sending it straight to authorities. All right, Cecilia Vega leading us off live in New York. Cecilia, thank you. And that State Department alert reading this. Current information suggesting that ISIL or ISIS and other terrorist groups continue to plan terrorist attacks in multiple regions. These attacks may employ a wide variety of tactics using conventional and non-conventional weapons and targeting both official and private interests. So let's get right to ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight. John, why issue the warning now? And we took special note that they did not list specific locations here.
That's right. But, David, they said that this travel alert comes specifically in response to the attacks that we have seen in Paris, in Mali, in Egypt, and elsewhere. And while they say there is no specific intelligence of an imminent attack, that the terrorists want to strike again. The alert reads, David, authorities believe the likelihood of terror attacks will continue as members of ISIL return from Syria and Iraq. Extremists have targeted large sporting events, theaters, open markets, and aviation services. Officials have made it clear to us tonight they are not telling Americans not to travel around the world, but to be vigilant. They've offered a few tips. Among those tips include U.S. citizens should exercise vigilance in public places or using transportation. 2, be aware of immediate surroundings and avoid large crowds or crowded places. And finally, exercise particular caution around the holidays. So, David, really what they're saying is be vigilant and use common sense. We are in a high-threat environment.
Americans on alert tonight with Thanksgiving just days away. John Karl live at the White House tonight. John, thank you.